Hey friends, this is Heather with Thriving with Lyme. I wanted to talk to you today. It's kind of in a story form, but it's also just explaining things. I want to talk about the narrow path that we walk on as people that are dealing with Lyme disease. And I'm going to explain what that means in a minute. And so yeah, listen, and hopefully I'm able to encourage you and give you hope and help you feeling better and get you in that mentally, spiritually, emotionally right place to be to work on your healing journey. All right, so I do have an article, I'll link it below, about this walking on the narrow line path. So I want you to visualize, I'm sure you've seen pictures in National Geographic or in some sort of outdoor magazine or just pictures on the internet. Imagine there's this beautiful maybe cliff with this scenery, but there's this tiny little ledge to walk on, okay? It's this tiny little ledge. You're like, why are people walking on that? That's crazy. I would never do that. They're barely, like there should be a railing on it, right? In some places, if it's touristy, they do have railings. Lots of places are way out in the wilds. They don't have a place to put railings up. And so these people are choosing to go on this really, really, really narrow path along this cliff edge. They're walking on this narrow path. You're like, what in the world are they doing, okay? Well, dealing with Lyme disease, in my opinion, is a lot like walking on a really narrow path, or even a tightrope at times, when you're balancing everything, every step of the way. You're micromanaging, right, your health, okay? So we're talking about health here. I would say the average person has like a 4-lane highway of their health path. And they have a lot of room to meander and go and still stay in that healthy path, okay? They can eat donuts and ice cream and pizza, and they can do these things, and they have this really wide, my arms can't go big enough. Think of a 4-lane highway, right? They have this path that they can meander in, and they don't have to stay on this path until they fall off. And it takes a long time or a lot of garbage or a lot of junk for them to finally fall off that path into the place we call disease or dis-ease, where we are no longer thriving, no longer healthy. Okay, so and then some people, maybe they develop cancer. Well, it doesn't take, they kind of change their diet a little bit. They jump back on that path pretty easy. Maybe do some juicing, some fasting, some a little bit healthier eating. There they are, back on the path, right? Big 4-lane path, okay? So, okay, but we lucky individuals that are dealing with Lyme disease, here we are with a tightrope, or here we are with this narrow little path to walk on, okay? We're on this tiny little path, and there's a cliff on both sides maybe, okay? Or let's say, actually, it is a good description. Let's say there's a cliff face going up one side, and then a cliff falling down to your death on the other side, right? This is real. This is like a great metaphor of our life, right? So we're walking on this little ledge, okay? We're balancing our stress. We're balancing our emotions. We're balancing our hormones, our diet. We're balancing our supplements, our medication, our liquid intake. Can you deal with caffeine? Can you not? Can you deal with dairy, soy, sugar, wheat, grains in general, meat, no meat? You're balancing all these things, different supplements, different medication. I think I already said that. But you get the idea, right? We're balancing, we're micromanaging. Okay, even sometimes it's like how often you are taking something, or how big or small of a dose you're taking. And you know what? It changes, right? It daily changes. You have to really be intuitive and really, what does your body need? So here we are on this little path, and we're trying to micromanage, okay? And let's say you're going along, yeah, you're doing pretty good, but you have ice cream, okay? And that's gonna fill you with things that are inflammatory, okay? Here's just an example. And so that's going to be dairy, that's going to be sugar, that's going to be higher fats than maybe your body can tolerate right now. And okay, we're not falling down to our death right now because of that, but we're all of a sudden slipping and falling because it takes only a tiny bit of a variance off of our health path for us to like fall off, okay? Or run into a really big wall that we really can't get up to. We're like, oh my word, okay? So this is a really narrow path. So it takes one little event. Maybe you do some traveling and you get stressed out. Maybe it's as simple as you have a confrontation at work, okay? That's a stressor. All of a sudden your body is flaring up, your symptoms are flaring up, you're having a hard day again. Maybe it puts you back into bed rest. So our pathway to walk on is so narrow. And the next thing is people say it's so hard, okay? And we could sit and complain about how narrow our path is, or we can accept and say, this is a narrow path. I'm going to choose to walk this narrow path. And I'm telling you what, now I spend a lot of time in the wilderness, a lot of time hiking and backpacking and rock climbing and just everything outside fun to do. This is all like, yes, anyways, I used to do all this stuff, so I've been to some amazing places. I actually haven't physically walked on a path that's has a rock face, but I have been on a path that was on a ridge line, and it was going down on both sides, and it was a very, very precarious, and it was on shale, and which is really slippery rock, and we were backpacking, had heavy loads. This is way up in Alaska, and you're walking like tiptoeing, and we were so high that we were above the clouds. The clouds were below us and holding on the sail. So here you are on this ridge line, trying to go down this ridge line. There's nothing to hold on to, you guys. And down below is just, you don't even know how far down it goes because it's fog. It's cloud below you, okay? And we actually had a friend of mine actually did end up falling. Thankfully, didn't get very injured, just some really big bruises. Ended up having to bail. Thankfully, also, he fell on the side that was not full of fog, because that's scary. And metaphorically, we're kind of like that, where we have this ridgeline we're walking on, this narrow path of health, and sometimes we don't know what's below us. Yeah, it could be a fall to your death. Something really bad could happen. It's a fall to your death. Sometimes we don't want to know what's below, but sometimes that fog layer is a good thing, because you can't see what's below and how scary this line you're walking. But we have to be aware of it, because we have to be cautious, and we have to know what our path is. We have to know where we're traveling. So this friend of mine he did fall. Thankfully, it was not on the foggy side, it was on the other side. And he was just laying, on this, it's like steep like this, just laying on the side of this mountain, and it's slippery, and we're trying to help, and Mita's right out of reach. So we ended up yelling and saying, drop your pack, drop your pack. And this is like, you're way out where like it would take days, probably at least 4 days from where we were, just to hike back to a tiny little town, a little village. So this is like, his pack is his life, right? Drop your pack, drop your pack, because we knew it was life and death. He had to make a choice right then to drop his pack and live, or he's gonna fall. Okay, I'm trying to make the story short. He ends up dropping his pack. Thank goodness. The pack rolls down, falls down a cliff, down to a glacier. Okay, never to be seen again. Okay, that could have been him. He was smart enough to bail that pack and let go of some things, okay? And he knew he had to make that choice. I'm going to tell you why I'm telling the story in just a minute. And so he let go of that backpack. That all his stuff was in that backpack that he had, that he needed to survive, really. Thankfully, we were in a group so we could all come together. Anyways, he ended up sliding a little bit more and got to a place where he was on a little bit of a ledge. And someone in our group was an EMT. We then got the whole group to a safe spot, and then we were able to kind of go down and rescue him and come back up and regroup. Okay, metaphor here. Okay, it's going to be a learning story, because you know me, right? If you've watched enough of my things, you know I have a learning story in it. Okay, what's that backpack for us? As a Lyme patient, as a Lyme warrior, as a Lyme friend, as someone dealing with Lyme, okay? What is that backpack? What is that metaphorically for us? It's different for everybody, okay? We could be holding on to some things that we're not willing to let go of. But if we want to get back, although it's a narrow path, let's not complain about it. Let's just say that's what it is, okay? We have Lyme. Lyme came to our life, okay? What do we need to do to let go of our backpack of stuff to get back on that narrow Lyme path, okay? Yep, it's not a big, huge highway. Let's not complain about it though, guys, okay? We're on this narrow path. This is our path. Just... okay, we can do little things to widen it, but even though like I feel really good right now, and I have been feeling good for a while, I'm still having to manage things. I have to manage my stress. I have to manage my diet. I have to manage my immune support. I have to manage my supplements, okay? Yes, it's become easier because I'm not having to take so many medications, so many things. I'm not having to manage so much because my body is not such in a bad place. But I still have to manage it. I still have to be aware that I have this narrow health path. Okay, what's in the backpack, you guys? What is it for you? Here's some ideas of things that it could be. You could be not wanting to let go of some dietary changes. Maybe it's ice cream, I don't know. Maybe it's cookies, maybe it's cake. Maybe for you it's coffee, I don't know. Everyone reacts differently. Maybe it's alcohol. Maybe it's a toxic relationship. Maybe it's an attitude that you need to let go of. Maybe it's, if you're dealing with depression, maybe it's a victim mentality that you need to let go of. Okay, what is that backpack for you guys? I can't answer that question. Only you can, okay? But there might be some things in your life, in our lives, that we need to let go of. Yes, we cling on to those things and they are helping keep us alive maybe right now, sort of. But honestly, if we want to truly live and get back on that narrow path, we've got to let go of that backpack. We've got to let go of what we're holding on to. Okay, so what is it? You answer the question. What is it you need to work on letting go of? Okay, so back onto this, let go of it. Work on letting go of it. Talk to someone about it. Talk to me about it if you need to, whatever. Get a hold of me on Facebook or email, whatever you want, whatever's easiest. FaceTime me, call me, whatever. Talk to someone you care about and that cares about you, okay? Someone who will listen to you. Okay, what is it? Let go of the backpack. Get back on this narrow health path that we have, okay? This is our life, okay? Lyme, this is our Lyme life. You can thrive with having Lyme, but be aware, okay? We have this narrow Lyme path. Okay, next step of the story. Why do people go on this narrow path of life? Let's say they're out in the middle of the wilderness and they have the cliff on this side, the jungle below them, and they get around the corner. And what do they see? The world opens up in front of them. They're like, wow, their eyes get big. There's a beautiful vista below them that if they hadn't taken this path, they would have never got there to see that beautiful, gorgeous vista. So now they know all that hard work, all that rock scrambling, all that narrow path walking, all that hiking, all that wondering and doubting, but working really hard to go on this narrow pathway along this cliff. It was dangerous. It was scary. It was worth it because they get around the corner and they look and they say, wow. And the world opens up for them. Okay, there's a beautiful, imagine it. Close your eyes if you have to. Imagine this beautiful vista. What is it for you? Is it a mountains? Is it jungle? Is it beach? Whatever. Gorgeous, okay? Gorgeous. Think gorgeous as the most beautiful scenery you can think of. Picture that, okay? On this narrow path and you get around the last bend and there it is, opens up in front of you. Okay? Imagine that. We're there, okay? So how does this relate to our Lyme walk and our health walk on this narrow path? From what I've seen so far, from the friends I've talked to, from the Lyme friends I've talked to, from the people I've interviewed, from the people I've personally met, from the people that have gone and put Lyme in remission, but maybe they still are walking in this narrow path. From what I have experienced is that once they know that they're on this path, they say, yep, this is my life, okay? It's okay. It's not a bad thing. This is a path. They've walked on this path. Their world opens up to something new and something better that they never imagined, okay? Take me for example, okay? This is one example because I like to use myself as an example. 10 years ago, when I was bedridden and not able to walk, I could barely talk, I had zero energy, I'd fall asleep even just talking to people. I didn't know where my life was going, okay? And this is coming from being a really active person, really outdoors person. I was doing triathlons, I was doing swimming, I was doing everything. 10 years ago, I would not have thought I would be where I am today. I had no idea where I would be today. I knew I had a path to take and I had to depend on a higher power to show me the way one step at a time. Okay, but I would never think that I would be running a support group for Lyme disease patients. I would never think that I would be running a website and YouTube channel and encouraging and giving hope to other people dealing with a really nasty chronic illness. I didn't plan that for my life, you guys, okay? But it's beautiful, okay? It's beautiful, and I love it, and I accept where life has brought me, where my path has brought me. And I'm here to just love on you guys, to encourage you, to give you hope, because that's what I feel like I'm here for. Right now, in this place, that's what I'm here for. And so I would have never thought 10 years ago. So whatever you're going through right now, you don't know what 1, 2, 5, 10 years from now looks like, okay? You could be healthy. You will be healthy, let me say. You will be healthy, you guys, okay? Work hard. Stay on that narrow path. Let's not complain that our path is narrow, but know that there's a promise at the end of it. There's an amazingness at the end of it. There's a gorgeous vista. There's a life you never thought of at the end of that last corner as you get there. And metaphorically, am I at that vista? I would say yes, because I feel like the world is open to me. Okay, I am open to the world. I am at this gorgeous, beautiful place in life. Yes, I'm still walking on that pathway, so the path doesn't necessarily end, but I'm to this place where like, oh, I see now. I understand what all that struggle was for. Okay, I understand. I'm to that place where you get to understand. So I want to give you hope, you guys, that hope knowing that there is something amazing waiting down this narrow Lyme health path for you, okay? And yeah, we're not like the normal person out there who can have this really wide path or this 4-lane highway to meander through on their health and never really fall into disease, okay? We're on this narrow path. We take one little toe over the edge and we slip and fall, okay? Yeah, I hope that encourages you guys, and have hope that you can get Lyme in remission. Yeah, it's hard work. It is. Talk to anybody out there who's going through it, who's in the depths of it, or who has come and put it into remission. It's hard work. I'm not gonna lie, but it's worth it. You can thrive despite having Lyme. And yeah, I just hope you guys have an amazing day. Hopefully that story was encouraging to you. I'm working really hard in my spare moments to get videos out to you guys, to just encourage you, give you hope, to love on you, and to build a community also around Lyme support. So check out the Facebook page if you haven't already joined a member. I try to do more updates and recipes and live videos on there, not as long as this one. And that's Thriving with Lyme on the Facebook group. And then please don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and show me some love. And that's just letting me know that you are encouraged by this and I should keep making videos, okay? And feel free to share any of these videos with anyone you care about, anyone who's dealing with Lyme disease or any other chronic illness in that, in that matter. So, all right, you guys, have an amazing day. Do something wonderful today. Take care of yourself. Remember, self-love is not selfish, okay? Bye.